What's going on, everyone? It's Ben from YGO from Zero, and I'm back with another retro Yu-Gi-Oh video. If you've never seen my channel before, the intended goal of the channel was to sort of go through every format in Yu-Gi-Oh's history and just sort of show off everything there to allow people to see what's out there and allow them to, if they like a format, latch onto it, sort of build a following there if they want. And it's just meant to try and get people trying out as many different Yu-Gi-Oh formats as possible. However, recently, with all the hype around redo format and, Edison and Goat and all those formats just growing bigger and bigger than ever, I've actually decided to sort of plant my flag on a given format because I think I found a format that can compete with all the other formats out there that people are promoting for retro Yu-Gi-Oh! And I think when it really catches on, it will probably take over all the others. Like, I feel like once you play this format, there's no real going back to the other formats out there. I mean, sure, Edison's fun, Goat's fun, Redo's fun. Like, they're all fine, right? But I mean, I don't know. Once you get bit by this format's bug, you never really go back. Now, of course, the format that I'm talking about is Dad Return format, the SJC Minneapolis of April 2008 format here. It's a really exciting set. It's really when the game starts to change, and right at the beginning of that change is when it was most exciting, in my opinion. This was right around the release of Phantom Darkness, and a lot of people remember this format very well, and they look back on it very fondly. I know that everyone has their stories of playing around this time, and generally those stories are very enjoyable. So, I think this format could be prime material to actually go back and look over. I mean, look at all these fun decks. You got Dad Return, Diamond Dude Turbo, Economics FTK, Glad Beast even. Like, there's a lot of fun decks here and a lot of fun stuff. I mean, if you look at the Forbidden Limit list, I don't see any problems with this. I mean, you get to play around with Monster Reborn. Like, that's really fun. There's no Dad on this list, so, Dad can use to play it with it at full power. 3 Dads if you want, which makes it less of a sacky one-of than it is in formats like Edison, where, like, if some person draws the 1 Dad in their deck, it's like, well, I guess you drew the Dad. In this format, everyone's got 3 Dads, so it makes it much more likely that both players will have access to it. It makes it much more back and forth and fun. And, this format is just a blast. I'm actually going to show off some, replay of it here that I have, just some great replays that I'll have going on in the background while I'm talking about this format, because I just can't get enough of this format. Unfortunately, I haven't had the chance to really dive into it as deeply as some of my other formats that I've gone through, not made as many videos for it. But really, that was just because whenever I, would play it, I'd get too excited because the format was just so fun. And I had just had such an enjoyable time with it that, like, I really could not see myself continuing forward. And it really made a mental strain on me because I was like, oh, I don't know if after this I can actually continue with the channel as I have it, because this format's just too good. And, like, if I play more of it, like, I'm just going to get sucked in more and it's just going to become my whole life. And really, it kind of has become my whole life. Like, this format is just so good. I love it so much. I mean, as you can see here, the gameplay is really intense. There's a lot going on in this format and a lot of very interesting stuff. Now, a lot of people don't like this sort of comboing stuff compared to modern format, right? But I think this format is kind of balanced out a bit. Like, there aren't a ton of hand traps out there. There's DD Crow, sure, but, like, that's the only one. So it allows, more back and forth gameplay, in my opinion. And, I know that everyone loves to complain about hand traps in the modern game. You don't have to really worry about that. It's just the DD Crow, which people are generally fine with in Edison. So I think they'll probably be fine with it here. And also, you get to play with decks that, people do enjoy. Like, look back at this time. Look at the Phantom Darkness. Phantom Darkness is one of the most iconic sets in the game history for good reason. It released a lot of beloved cards, and you get to play with all those beloved cards here. You get to play with Disc Commander. Everyone loves Disc Commander, right? And Monster Reborn being in the format too. It's great. Luckily, they banned Call of the Haunted, which was such a toxic card. But now that Reborn's back, it's just so much better here. And there's also some other fun cards, like Crush Card Virus is legal. That's a great card that everyone remembers fondly from the anime, right? Don't you love playing with anime cards? I mean, that's out there, and it's its pre-rata version, so it's full strength Crush Card Virus, which is just so good. And I mean, it's just so fun. I mean, there's so many different decks that you can play and so much gameplay you can do. You don't even need to actually have another player with you to actually play it. I mean, as you see here, you can just play games yourself and, like, enjoy the fun of those games by yourself. And that makes it very unique among a lot of other formats. And I think that does make it a bit more of an edge, than the others, right? with Edison or something, if you don't have any friends, you can't really play Edison, you can't really play Tengu, you can't play Redo, you can't play all these other formats that require 2 people. But with this format, you can actually play on your own, have fun on your own, and just have a blast. And it's just the only format that I can really think of right now, except for maybe like until you get later into 5D, like Frog FDK format. Maybe that's something you can do with. But this format you can play on your own, or if you've got friends, you can play with them too. And it's just a blast. I really like it a lot. So I hope that you all have enjoyed this video. I hope that you give dad return format a try. Check out my videos on the channel about it because I'm planning on making a lot more of them. It's going to be basically all I do from here on out is just dad return video after dad return video after dad return video. Maybe we'll try having like a really big dad return tournament as well, an RBDT. That'd be really fun. I think people would really get a kick out of that. And, we wouldn't have prizing, of course. Actually, you would pay the organizers a lot of money to actually join that event. It would be an exorbitant amount of money, like thousands and thousands of dollars to actually attend this event. I think that would be really good for driving up engagement, and it would really, draw people into the format. I was also figuring that we could have that format finals in like Antarctica. I think that would be really neat. I don't think that they've ever had a Yu-Gi-Oh tournament in Antarctica before. And so I figured we could be the first. And I'm sure that that would be very appealing to people. I don't know if there's a good way to get to Antarctica. It might be like a many weeks journey to actually get there. And also I'll figure out like the zoning stuff that we need to do to clear it with the people at the Antarctic ice bases. But I think it would be a lot of fun. And I think that it would be a great time just chilling out with people playing dad return format. And I think people would enjoy it. So let me know your thoughts on dad return format down in the comments below. I always look forward to, hearing people's thoughts on this. Although if you do badmouth dad return format, I will ban you. I will actually come to your house and I will destroy your computer so you can never comment on one of my YouTube videos again. And that should be a pretty fun time. Don't ask me how I'll know where you live. I'll just know. It just happens. Dad return format is giving me powers that I never dreamt of. And these powers will enable me to do whatever I want. And so that's why I'm shaping reality to actually make dad return format the only way that people can actually play any game. Not just Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon, Magic the Gathering. It's all dad return format from here on out. And I think that people will really enjoy that. And I don't see any blowback to that in any way. So I hope that you all enjoyed this video, and let me know your comments down below, as I mentioned. And yeah, I look forward to the next one. See you for the Age of Dad, and happy April Fools. See you next time. Peace.